Shri Gaur Bhattacharya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhattacharya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhattacharya. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is Wednesday. It is 18th of June. It is the Ashadha Masa or Vamana Masa, Krishna Paksham, and the Saptami Tithi. So no Vaishnavas today, but we are coming nearer to Ekadasi. Ekadasi is on Saturday. Okay, so for now we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Uddhava is describing Krishna's activities and how he has spent all of his time. So when he was in the Dwaraka, so he enjoyed with all his wives for so many years. And then later on, he has completely detached. Though while he was engaging, he was situated in the Sankhya philosophy. So with that jnana, so he never attached to the even though it appears that he is engaged in the family affairs like the mundane, but he was always detached. तस्यैवं रममाणस्य संवत्सरगणान् बहून् गृहमेधेषु योगेषु विरागः समजायत. And later on, at the end of winding up of Krishna's pastimes, during that time, viragaha samajayata. So complete detachment is manifested. But until that point, so he was situated completely in the knowledge. So likewise, Uddhava was mentioning to Vidura. Gruhamereshu yogeshu viragaha samajayata. And then later on, Uddhava further saying, so coming to while looking at the Krishna's pastimes, many people, they think in a different way. So in a mundane way. So who are always controlled by the external feature of the Lord. So they are under the supernatural powers. And because they are trying to enjoy their senses. So because of that, they cannot understand Krishna except the devotees who are the devotees of the Lord. They only can enter and understand the pastimes of Krishna. So likewise, Uddhava is mentioning, it is not possible for other people to understand Krishna's pastimes. Okay, so we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 3rd chapter, verse number 23. दैवाधीनेषु कामेषु दैवाधीनः स्वयं पुमान् को विश्रम्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरम् अनुव्रतः. Daivadhineshu kameshu. Daivadhineshu is the who are being controlled by the supernatural powers. Daivadhineshu kameshu. Kameshu in the sense enjoyment. Daivadinaha. Daiva adinaha. They are always controlled by the supernatural force, even to when they are trying to enjoy the senses. When they are trying to enjoy the senses. Daiva adinaha. Swayam puman. And he himself, Puman, the living entity. Ko vishrambheta yogena. Ko vishrambheta yogena. How can any people ko vishrambheta? They have faith. Whoever, kaha means whoever, vishrambheta can have faith in yogena by devotional service. Yogeshwaram anuvrataha, except the devotees of the Lord, anuvrataha, who are serving the Lord. Yogeshwaram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. How can anyone can understand or have faith in the Krishna? Likewise, Uddhava is mentioning this one. Because they're all engaged in the mundane sense gratification things. दैवाधीनेषु कामेषु दैवाधीनः स्वयं पुमान् को विश्रम्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरम् अनुव्रतः is a translation for this shloka. Every living entity is controlled by a supernatural force, and thus his enjoyment is also under the control of that supernatural force. No one, therefore, can put his faith in Lord Krishna's transcendental sense activities, but one who has become a devotee of the Lord by rendering devotional service. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so can I request Usha Mataji to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, no one can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord. The same fact is herein corroborated. No one but one who is enlightened by the devotional service of the Lord can understand the difference between the Lord's activities and those of others, who are controlled by the supernatural force. The sense enjoyment of all animals, men, and demigods within the purview of the material universe is controlled by the supernatural force called the Prakriti or Devi Maya. No one is independent in obtaining sense enjoyment, and everyone in this material world is after sense enjoyment. Persons who are themselves under the control of supernatural power cannot believe that Lord Krishna is not under any control beyond himself in the matter of sense enjoyment. They cannot understand that his senses are transcendental. In the Brahma Samhita, the Lord's senses are described as omnipotent. Example, with any sense, he can perform the activities of the other senses. One who has limited senses cannot believe that the Lord can eat by his transcendental power of hearing and can perform the act of sex life simply by seeing. The controlled living entity cannot even dream of such sense activities in this conditional life, but simply by the activities of Bhakti Yoga, he can understand that the Lord and his activities are always transcendental. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18.55, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yas jasmi tattvataha. One cannot know even a fraction of the activities of the Lord if he is not a pure devotee of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So just this is Prabhupada is mentioning. So no one can understand the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord except the devotees. So this one, Bhakcha mam abhijanati yavan yashasmi tatpataha tato mam tatvato jnatva vishade tad anantaram tato mam tatvato tatpataha is scientifically by practical experience. So, but here, again, Krishna says, whoever understands my pastimes, janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatpataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mam veti sorjuna. Whoever understands my transcendental activities, they will not have take another birth in this material world. And also it is naham prakash sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha. Mudhoyam na bhijanati. So Krishna says in the Avdhananti Mam Hoda Manushim Tanumashridam, many places Krishna says. So Krishna is always covered by the Yogamaya potency. Naham Prakasya, Naham. So I would not be revealed to the non-devotees. So Krishna mentions specifically on that one. And the same fact is herein corroborated. No one but one who is enlightened by the devotional service of the Lord. So again, service of the Lord without engaging oneself, the senses like the sevonmukhehi jihvado, sevonmukhehi, unmuka. That is the first thing to be done. Sevonmukhehi jihvado, starting from the tongue, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Engage the senses. Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavid grahimindriyaihi. So Krishna's name, form, qualities, and everything. Adihi. Ataha Sri Krishna Namadihi. Nama Adihi. Anything starting from the name of the Lord, holy name of the Lord. They cannot be na bhavid grahimindriyaihi. They cannot be understood through the senses. Sevonmukhehi jihvado, just by rendering service unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Swayameva Spurtyadaha. Swayam, personally, Lord will reveal himself to that particular devotee. So in such a way, Lord only Buddhi Yogam, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, and he also gives the intelligence how to come back to Krishna. So that is all. It starts from the service, devotion by the service, devotional service of the Lord can understand the difference between Lord's activities and those of others who are controlled by the supernatural force. Daivi Esha Gunamayi Mama Maya Dhrutyaya. Because people of the material world, they will always trying to enjoy the senses. I wanted to have comfort, nice home, nice bed, nice positing, tasty food, nice dresses, and looking nice, tasting nice, smelling nice, all seeing to be the good scenarios that they wanted to see. Likewise, all sense gratification. Such kind of people, they are absorbed. They wanted to enjoy. They're all Daivi Hiyesha Gunamayi. They're controlled by the three material modes of nature, by supernatural force. Because they have got the body which is to be operated by the material nature. And the sense enjoyment of all animals, men, and demigods within the purview of material universe is controlled by the supernatural force called the Prakriti. This is the Daivi Maya. Daivi Hiyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Dhrutyaya. It is very difficult to counteract, to act according to the bodily nature. So Krishna, whenever Arjuna is mentioning that, oh Arjuna, oh Krishna, why even though I do not like to be engaged in the sinful activities, why I am forced to do that? Then Krishna mentions that Kamesha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. Because of those desires, Kama Esha Krodayesha Rajoguna Samudbhavaha. Because of those qualities, those desires, you have attained a body, and that body come under the influence of the material nature. That body cannot act. One person has got woman body, one person has got man body. He has to work accordingly. One living entity has got a dog body. It has to only bark. It cannot chant Hare Krishna. And cat has to do only moving kind, mewing something like meow meow, something like that. So they cannot chant Hare Krishna because they have to work according to the nature, that body they have attained. They cannot change. That is how they are controlled, all the living entities. Prakriti, Daivi Maya. No one is independent in obtaining sense enjoyment, and everyone in this material world is after the sense enjoyment. And persons who are themselves under the control of the supernatural power cannot believe that Lord Krishna is not under any control beyond himself in the matter of sense enjoyment. So this is the difference between the devotees. Devotees understand that Krishna is always independent, and he, even though he enjoys, he is beyond the enjoyment. Atma Rama. Atma Rama Purnakamam Nijlabhe Nityada. So whenever we worship that Lord who is Atma Rama, we also derive the small qualities similar to the Lord, minute quantity. And he is always independent, Swarat. And people, this is Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavitaha. Mudhoyam na abhijanati. Mudhoyam. The fools and rascals na abhijanati. They cannot understand me because they are under the control of supernatural power. And they cannot understand that his senses are transcendental. And in Brahma Samhita, Lord's senses are described as omnipotent. So his senses work like angani yasya sakalendri vrittimanti pasyanti panti kalayanti chiram jaganti. आनंद चिन्मय सुज्वल विग्रहस्य गोविंदमादि पुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Angani yasya. So parts of the body of the Lord, angani yasya sakala indriya vrittimanti. They will perform all other activities of different senses. So that Prabhupada is giving examples. Any sense he can perform the activities of the other senses. One who has limited senses cannot believe that the Lord can eat by his transcendental power of hearing and can perform the act of sex life by simply seeing. So this is the absolute, omnipotent. And here, absolute means everything, every characteristic. If we see in this material world, in some living entities, whenever Lord says to the goddess of fortune about how a fish can nourish its babies by the glands, and the bird nourishes its babies or by the sense of touch, and the turtle it nourishes its eggs while it is in the ocean, and it lays the eggs on the shore and it meditates on the eggs. So in such a way, these are the meditation by the sense of meditation, sense of touch, sense of glance. By these things, those insignificant animals are able to nourish their children. And when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, why can't have all these things? Likewise, um, God, the Lord speaks to Lakshmi Devi. That is a very beautiful analogy. So he is absolute, omnipotent. And the controlled living entity cannot even dream of such sense activities in his conditional life because he is conditioned and he is able to do in only one way or other way. That is the only thing he knows, but he does not know all the 360 degrees angles, but that is only circle. But if we take the sphere, then it will go so many 360 degrees as well in multiplying all kinds of angles. So that is omnipotent, absolute. But simply by the activities of Bhakti Yoga, he can understand that the Lord and his activities are always transcendental. Daivim karma vitestitam. So this is again एतद् भगवतो रूपं ब्रह्मणस्य परमात्मनः परम प्रधानं पुरुषं दैवीं कर्म विचेष्टितं. His activities, so he performs, he has got expansions like Brahma, Jyoti, Paramatma, and Supreme Personality of Godhead. Daivim Karma Vichestam. All his activities are all transcendental. In what? He's completely absolute. And as Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati, Yavan Yashashmi Tatpataha. Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati. Abhijanati means knowing me. Mam Abhijanati. Who are all? Bhaktya, my devotees. Yavan, everything. Sha Asmi Tatpataha. Yascha Tatpataha. Tatpataha is scientifically they understand me. Tato Mam Tatvato Jnatva. Tattvataha, again, Krishna uses tattva number of times. So one has to understand it is not a blind faith. Generally, a religion without philosophy is a blind faith. A philosophy without a religion, it is a mental speculation. So, but Krishna consciousness, it is a scientific realization of the absolute truth. So Prabhupada, the number of times it says. So it is a practical understanding. One can he read Bhagavad Gita, study Bhagavad Gita, and practically experiences those things in the material world, understand as they are. That is Shastra Chakshuhu, and with a divine eyes. But without Bhagavad Gita, he cannot see with mundane eyes. Mundane eyes means he is controlled by the material nature, all his senses and body and everything. So his vision is limited. His vision is limited because of the four defects of the society, the material world, or people of this material world. Imperfect senses fall into the illusion, make mistakes, tend to cheat. These are the four drawbacks, four defects. Because of that, they cannot understand anything in this material world. And what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So one cannot know even a fraction of the activities of the Lord if he is not a pure devotee of the Lord. If he is not a pure devotee of the Lord, his activities are transcendental. Generally, if in this material world, if we see one particular activity is happening, the activity is happening, but vision of each and every person, it varies. Vision of each and every person, it varies. One person is killed by another person. There are 10 people are watching it. One person sees that, oh, this is not good. And other person may think that, oh, there may be some reason for it. A third person may be reasoning. So he might have stolen something, or his wife, and there is conflicts, and there is stolen of his property, some kind of reasons. And the other person may be thinking that because he is my friend, I wanted to protect him. Other person, he is the enemy. So different angles are thing, but there is only one particular activity because they do not have the transcendental vision. This is the defects of the material world. Okay, so one who is the devotee of the Lord, then only he will be able to understand the Lord and his pastimes, and also how the activities are happening by the material nature, by the force. There are under the influence. Prakritehe karmani gunaihi karmani sarvashah. All activities are done by the material nature. Either whatever is happening in this world at the moment, so many accidents, so many things, fightings, battles, uh, either job and uncertainty, everything under the material nature. Prakritehe karmani gunehi karmani sarvashah. And what about the living entities? Some people we are concerned about, oh, compassion, how poor they are, so kind, showing compassion because all are living souls. Asochan anusochistum gatas non socinti panditaha. Gatasun agatasumsha non socinti panditaha. So Krishna says initially in the beginning, asocha anusochyastvam prajnavadamsha bhashase gatasun agatasum cha nanusocyanti panditaha. A pandita, you will never lament about the people who are dead or who are living, because every living entity is put up into that particular condition according to its desires and according to its past karma. So that's why a Pandita, he will never lament about the people who are living or who are dead. Living entity it is eternal. There is no, but currently here it is experiencing pains and pleasures, experience of the birth, experience of the desires or old age, disease and death. These are only the experiences. It is not the that they will be staying there. Agama nityaha tam titikshasva bharat. They will come and keep going on, come and go. One has to simply tolerate and but understand, if I do not want to experience all these things, pains and pleasures in the dukkhalayam ashashvatam, then what I need to do? Render devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, put ourselves into the transcendental knowledge and go back to the Godhead so that we don't have to experience this dukkhalayam. Okay, likewise, Prabhupada is describing in this purport. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So here Uddhava is mentioning non-devotees cannot understand Krishna. Only the devotees of the Lord, they can understand Krishna. दैवाधीनेषु कामेषु दैवाधीनः स्वयं पुमान् को विशर्भेत योगेन योगेश्वरम् अनुरतः योगेश्वरम् अनुरतः. Okay, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today it is a small letter. I think letter to Prutu, August 28th, 1970. Unknown place. Can I request any unallocated devotee to read this letter, please? Yes, Mataji, please.
My dear son Prithidas, please accept my blessing upon the recommendation of Sivananda. I have gladly consented to accept you as my duly initiated disciple. Your beads have been duly chanted by me, and they are sent by separate post. I have given
given you the spiritual name of Pruthu Das Brahmachari. King Pruthu was the ideal ruler of the citizens, so you should also set the example of ideal person and spread this ideal very widely to all the citizens of your country. I can understand that you are very sincere boy and very eligible condi- candidate for going back to home, back to Godhead. And the process is simple. Follow the regulative principles. Chant at least 16 rounds of beads daily. Read our literature. Go for street sankirtan extra. In this way, keep yourself engagement in Krishna's business 24 hours, and you will be really happy in this life and in the end reach the supreme destination. Hoping this will meet you in a good health. Your ever well-wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any points, Mataji, you wanted to add here?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, yeah, Prabhuji. There was Prabhupada has given initiation to the spiritual das by recommended by Sivanda Das by his upon him, and then Prabhupada has given this initiation by by chanting the beads and given his name as a Prithu. And then he has explained who is the Prithu Maharaj, he was the king and ruler of the citizens. The same way you also do the it's an ideal example person, and so you also ensure that to your citizen, to your country, and given this Krishna consciousness to your citizen in your country. He just saying and Prabhupada also mentioned that you are the sincere boy and so by doing all this you will also you can go to the back to Godhead like Krishna. And then he just said this process is very simple, following doing following four regulation principle like chanting and reading the literature and do the Sankirtan Bharati extra and always keep yourself engaged in Krishna's activities and that is our life, and yeah, you will be happy that way. And then you can reach the to the destination, like supreme destination at the end. So yeah, it's very nice point Prabhupada has mentioned by giving initiation to Das. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So nicely summarized. So one thing is new devotees are being recommended by the other disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So that is the norms now. Same custom is there now also. Devotees are to be recommended by other disciples of the Guru Maharaj. Okay, and chant for 16 rounds of beads daily. Read our literatures. Go for Sankirtana in the streets and engage, follow the four regulative principles and engage yourself in the Krishna consciousness business 24 hours. And you'll be really happy in this life and then go back to Vaikuntha at the end. Thank you so much, Mataji. So beautifully summarized. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add? Okay, so that is from the Prabhupada's letter perspective and from the announcements point of view. So today is Wednesday. Today evening we have got Kirtan evening at 8 p.m. Okay, so that is our upcoming event. And also we got Sanjita Mataji joined here. So after a long time, we are seeing Mataji. So Mataji is going through so many challenges at the family side. I hope Pallab Prabhuji has been discharged from the hospital. Now back to home. Hope Prabhuji is well, so by the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Sanjita Mataji, you wanted to share anything, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for asking. Dhanyavad Pranam to all the devotees. Yes, Prabhu, with the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev and all your prayers, Prabhu, yeah, he's been discharged last Thursday. He's recovering, bit slow, but yeah, he's getting there. He's able to drive a little bit. Pain is still there, but yeah, we're waiting for some neuro rehab for him, but that will take a bit of time through the GP. But other than that, he's trying to get more or less back to normal life. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Well done. We all pray for Prabhuji and yourself. So everyone are going through different challenges. Some are sharing, some are not sharing. Every family has got, because devotional life means challenges. Body will not stay for longer. Either way, it has to go through the challenges. When we are burning all this, once sometime in a different angles, only Lord sees all these activities, how we are engaging. But with the determination and complete faith and the Lord and Krishna's words, we progress spiritually. Thank you so much. And only pray to the Lord to protect all the devotees and all the living entities who are suffering in this material world. Socha sochana vidhonu soche harehe kadayam vimukhan ghena kshinote devo animishto yesham ayurvadavada gati smritinam ayurvadavada gati smritinam. People are wasting their valuable time in their life. Vidra laments tan socha sochan vidhonu soche. Okay, so but here, but even the challenges are there, devotees are engaging. For such kind of devotees, we need to pray especially. Okay, so keeping our prayers for all of them. So we shall conclude and continue with further japa, unless if devotees wanted to share anything. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनन्तकोटिवैष्णववृन्द की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। Have a Krishna conscious day, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.